Enterprising Women.
Yes, of course, Rural Women New Zealand, as they do every year, have now opened again their Enterprising Rural Women Awards for women in business in the rural sector. Those awards are open now until the end of August for people to apply. With the three categories, they've got inspiring business and community leaders, the traditional on-the-land type businesses, you know, if you're in agriculture, horticulture or tourism, and also use of technology. If you're a business creating software for the rural sector, there's a section there for you. So we're encouraging women who are in business to look at those awards and have a go. You know, put an application in. It's a great process. You know, a lot of businesses who've been through it in the past say the process is fantastic. Apart from promoting their business, they also get the opportunity to really take a step back and just have a think about their business, what they're wanting to achieve, where they're going, what their goals are for the next few years. And they've said the process is just as important as whether they do or don't win. And of course, there's some amazing prizes too.
In many of these events, you actually learn more from the judges than you give out.
I think so. I think there's that opportunity because with the judges you have that chance to really discuss and talk about your business, but to present it. And people say they learn a lot about their business that they hadn't really thought about before. They've been, you know, you trudge along and doing what you do, and then you have this chance to step back and really have a good look at where you're going and what you're hoping to achieve and how far you've come. And that's a great process for people. So I'd really encourage people to have a look at that as an opportunity.
There'll be those who will say, just want to be humble and I don't want to be a tall poppy.
Well, there are those who think, oh no, I'd never be good enough. You know, my business wouldn't qualify for that. But I'd still encourage you to try, because even if you're not a winner, it's the process of looking at your business and the business planning that goes into it, and the chance to discuss that with other people. And get another insight into what you're doing. I think people have found that really, really valuable, just as much as being whether a winner or not.
You apply online?
Yes, you do. All the information and the application forms are on the Rural Women website, so you can easily go on there and click them and print them off, and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do to apply.
And other people who know somebody who's in business,
yes,
lean on them.
Absolutely, encourage them and encourage them, chase them along and get them to do that, because I think it's well worth it.
Teenagers and driving, it's always a subject, isn't it?
It is, and it's something I've sort of had a bit to do with lately. I've sort of trying to get my own children through it. But it's woken me up to a few things that as parents we sometimes don't think about, and the common sense things. You know, it's great, we all know our kids, that sometimes they might have been ticking around the farm in the farm truck and we all think, yeah, they know what they're doing, but they probably don't. And we know that the teenage brain doesn't work particularly well, particularly when they're behind the wheel of a car. And it's just simple things like making sure that when they've got their new car, they actually know basic things if it's going to break down, you know, how to change the tyre, and actually make sure they can actually physically do it.
That should be part of the...
It should be. You know, there's a great difference between knowing how to do it and being able to do it. And particularly for a lot of young folk, you know, it takes a fair bit of strength to shift those wheel nuts at times. So make sure they know, because on rural roads that happens. You know, make sure they know how to get it started and how to jump start it, all those basic things, and even for basic car maintenance, you know, when does it need a service? All those, you know, what do you need to do, and watching for the oil levels and all those basic things that we take as common sense, but we don't think to teach to our youngsters.
Tyre pressures,
all those things. And also for rural people, making sure they know how to drive on a shingle road, because it's so different to driving on a tar seal road. And as we know, particularly in winter, those road surfaces change very quickly, and they go from being a nice simple shingle road to being quite a slippery, muddy thing. And you know, a lot of young folk don't really know how to drive safely at speed on a shingle road. And so, you know, real common sense stuff that keeps your kids safe.
Most of the, it's probably males more than young females, but they're bulletproof.
All teenagers are bulletproof. They all think it's never going to happen to them. And so they all probably drive a bit too fast, take risks. They don't think clearly. They're too busy worrying about where they're going, who they're going to meet up with, what they're going to be doing.
Or texting.
Texting when they shouldn't be, of course, but you know, the teenage brain doesn't work properly. They don't think about the risks the same as you and I might. The other thing that I would really encourage people to do is make sure that with your teenagers' phones, they haven't just got the contacts from the 500 kids at school plus a heap of people they don't really know, as kids do, but they've got contacts in there for mum and dad, friends and neighbours who could come and help them if they get stuck. Because quite often kids don't have those contacts in their phone. You know, who are they going to ring if they break down and they can't get hold of mum and dad? You know, even the AA, sign them up with an AA membership. You know, just simple things that are going to help them and keep them safe on the road.
Because the other thing is that somebody who's been driving for as long as you and I can drive quickly. Because we know.
We've got the experience,
yes.
and you know what you're doing, whereas we forget that our young folk don't have that years of experience, and even if they've been driving the ute around the farm, it's totally different to driving on the road. So I think just apply a little bit of common sense, help get your teenagers well prepared.